And that's what happens when you have a hiccup with methane and 33 Raptor engines. Go ahead and bring Dan in here. Oop, I muted Dan by mistake. Sorry about that. And John.
That's a superpower a lot of people wish they had.
Yeah.
Joe's an expert on methane explosions.
Yeah. What they did was they were doing a what they call a spin test. And everything was going so good. All the data was coming back right that they went ahead and said, shoot, what the hell, let's spin up all 33. And the spin up test is they're using methane and oxygen. Evidently there was a leak somewhere.
Evidently.
So if that's just the initial ignition of the engines, could you imagine what's going to happen when that thing lights?
Oh, when they go full throttle? Yeah, that's going to be an amazing sound.
Gene Simmons would love it.
Yeah, Gene Simmons would go.
Oh, that Gene Simmons. I thought you were talking about the one that was married.
Not the actors.
So how's everybody doing tonight?
Doing okay. Getting by.
When I was at
Are
Costco,
these?
when I was at Costco last week, I bought a pork loin. I don't know if they're about this. They're about 18 inches long, and that's just way too much. So I cut it in 3 pieces and make 3 roast.
You got what? Pork loins?
Pork loin.
What's the price on it?
I think it was $22, which
Oh,
ain't bad.
Hey, for 3 meals, that ain't bad at all.
No. So I cut it in 3 pieces, put them in Ziploc bags, throw them in the freezer. I pulled one out earlier the weekend and do it in the fridge, let it thaw out. I'm trying to think what I've been doing certain things with pork loin. Want to try something new. So I found a recipe last night. It's kind of neat. It only has 4 ingredients, and one of them's the pork loin.
Salt, pepper, and what else?
Salt, pepper, steak seasoning, and balsamic vinegar.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
And you mix the steak seasoning, about 2 tablespoons of steak seasoning, in with the balsamic vinegar. Oh, and olive oil. Sorry. 5 ingredients. You mix the steak seasoning in with the balsamic vinegar, let it marinate for a little bit, and then you add it and the olive oil together, mix that together, put it in a Ziploc bag, put your pork roast in it, make sure it's all covered up, take all the air out, seal it, put it in the fridge for 2 hours. They said 2 hours. I let it go overnight.
Yeah.
excuse me.
I highly recommend it. Let's put it that way.
I love it when a plan comes together.
so it was edible, huh?
Highly edible. And I did new potatoes, carrots, celery, and onions as a baked dish. Something to go with it. So I did good today.
Sounds
And got
good.
multiple plants for it.
Yeah. So, Joe Dog, is this the new headphones that you're using tonight then?
Can you see them?
What?
No, can't see them, but
No.
we can hear you.
I can when you turn your head.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are those wireless rechargeable doodads?
No.
Oh.
It's got a long cord. And I got it right here to where I can unplug it if I've got to go to the facility.
Well, Laura got on me about yesterday. Today's the last day of Prime Day. It's the last Prime Day. And
I'm sure there are other prime numbers coming up.
nope, only 2 a year. 12th and 13th of July. So there are no other prime numbers in existence according to Amazon. But so I did buy something that should be here Sunday, and I'm thinking it'll help me on the show. It's a ring light, but I didn't buy it for the show because what do I care what I look like? But anyway, I mainly bought it for using for selling things on eBay and that because my lighting is horrific. And I don't have a light box like Laura does. I don't have none of those fancy smancy things and that. But this one was 50% off, and it had 5,000 color and brightness settings and tripods and remote controls, and I think it'll probably strangle me in my sleep, but it seemed worth it. So we'll find out.
Mhm.
Okay. I couldn't find any deal that I needed.
Imagine that. On the day where everybody gets lots of benefits and sale prices and all sort of stuff, the stuff you need ain't there.
Yeah.
Amazon don't like you talking like that now.
Oh, what are they going to do? Send me to Mars?
I did get something. I didn't get no Amazon discount on it, but I got these hooks to help hang our curtains and the chandelier over the bar and the power cords for the light bar. So I got those. So that's gonna help. But I didn't get my Amazon Prime discount that I was supposed to have gotten.
Call them up.
Yeah.
Shake your fist at them. I will.
I got a couple of what do you call those? The actors' chairs they have on set. What are those things?
Yeah, the
The
director chairs.
yeah, that's it. That's
Yep.
it. I got Lindsay and I a pair of those for HallowCon
Okay.
to go with, and it matches the tablecloth and everything for the vendor's table. And
Well, that's good. That saves me 2 chairs.
oh
Does
Lord,
it have
yeah,
your names on the back of them?
where the back's going to be up against the wall. I mean, why? I could do
Oh,
it. I'd had to hand paint it myself, but I could do it. Um, got my light table for tracing the drawing for the cover art. That thing is a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be, but I'm glad that I got the large version.
where'd you get
And
that from, Dan?
I think I got it directly from the vendor. I might have gone through Amazon, but I think I got it directly from the vendor and saved a few dollars. And then the only thing I know that I got from Amazon was one of those hand carts like Joe's got for toting luggage and stuff
Yeah.
around at the convention. It looks a little bit small, but it's freaking sturdy. So it'll hold all the stuff that we normally tote to conventions.
You know
Just
where
have to
I
make
got
a couple
mine?
of trips.
You know where I got mine?
Harbor Freight.
Yep.
Mhm.
Horrible Freight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they sent me an email today. Said they were canceling my order for some bottle jacks. Trouble is, I picked those up last month.
Well, it's about time they canceled that order.
Well, all I'm thinking is maybe when I got there, they didn't actually have the delivery that they told me they had, and somebody went in the back and pieced it together and taped it up in a box and never told corporate that they fulfilled the order. So I'm going, hey, I already own these now. I've got them right here. Please don't refund my money because that would make me feel bad. I paid you for them in good faith, and you gave them to me in good faith. I don't want a freebie. I mean, shit.
Oh.
I got one of Laura's birthday presents from eBay today, and this has happened twice now in a couple months, where the day they tell you that it's going to come, sometimes it comes a day early, but that's just the window they give you. But it'll say order delivered, and it has not been.
Mm-hmm.
And so it said that yesterday, and the projected date was today, so I didn't file anything with eBay. I just went ahead and waited, and of course it came today. It was supposed to come by UPS, and then it ended up coming by USPS. So I wonder if when USPS took over the delivery, took over the package, I wonder maybe that's when they marked it as delivered. But either way, I got it. And
well, as long as you got it, that's
it's all good.
That's the thing. Oh, and as of today, Lindsay and I have been married for 16 years.
Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
And you're still alive?
Yeah, as she's fond of saying, neither one of us has wound up in a barrel in the woods yet.
What about in a barrel over Niagara Falls? Because that's a good place for your anniversaries.
No, not in a barrel, no.
Depends on what you do in the barrel.
Well, if you're going over Niagara Falls, screaming comes to mind.
Just make sure that it isn't full of monkeys before you guys get into the barrel.
Yeah, well, I mean, Davey's gone, so I'm running out of people to be jealous of. I mean, Cliff Richard and what's his name from Pink Floyd is the last two. So
Sid Barrett.
No, but she does like Sid Barrett. No, the guitar player.
Roger Waters, or not? Oh no, I'm sorry, not Roger Waters.
Ooh, an Osprey.
The other one.
This is the new version. This is the CMV 22B. Now, if you look on the side, you see those big pods?
Yeah.
They moved the landing gear out a little bit farther, and those pods carry more fuel. This is longer range. This is designed to carry cargo to and from aircraft carriers and other ships where it can land.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be replacing the old Greyhound Cod, their little cargo courier craft they used to have for a long time.
Yeah.
And they say this one's really cool because it can land anywhere. Doesn't have to have a runway.
VTOL.
Yeah.
Doesn't she sound delightful, Carl? I wonder which video.
I didn't get to hear that.
Well, it's on my channel. There's not much there, so it should be easy to find.
You just got to listen to Dan drone on and on. Did that come out of my mouth?
Did you think that out loud? Yeah, well.
Love you, Dan.
I didn't know Dan owned drones.
They're very hard to play. I mean, you got to pump them up for quite a bit before you actually get a squeak out of them. Oh, doggies on the bed. Yes, I remember that one. Yeah. There should be another one with a cut from Open All Night, I believe it is. An old British sitcom where there's a bicycle with a squeaky wheel and the dogs went crazy because of the squeaky wheel and the bicycle on TV. That was fun, but like the '60s, it lasted longer than you wished it had.
Yeah.
Oh.
So what's all been going on this past week with everybody?
Oh, lots and lots of work. Lots and lots of work. Hopefully things will straighten up here. One of the people that I've been helping train has finally got fully qualified, and she's on her own team now, so no longer getting trained.
Are you still having to do the 12-hour?
Occasionally, and I do get like 24 hours notice at the very least, because they know that I have a life outside of the factory, and if I've already got plans, then it's not going to do any good to tell me I need to come in, because I won't. And they can't do anything about that except dock me for half a day's pay, or not half a day's pay, attendance. And really, I can't get mandatory for it. They have to ask me if I will volunteer, and if I don't volunteer, there's really no penalty yet. They're planning on getting me fully qualified in that job position, so maybe later on, if they ask me to, they won't be asking. They'll say, you need to do this. And it'll be voluntold rather than volunteering.
Yeah. I've been reading the thread about that Writers Emporium Symposium, or whatever they call that. That sounds like it was interesting, to say the least. And
hey, Steve.
Let's just saying howdy. But I'm still trying to figure out the 27 letters in the alphabet.
Oh.
Yeah, the guy kept saying there's 27 letters in the alphabet, and you each have your own way of using them.
We have a
27?
Yes.
We have a guy at work that was being trained on a brand new job position, as a backup, and he kept insisting there were 36 letters in the alphabet.
Now,
I don't know if he's counting the diphthongs and the joined up letters from Old English or whatever, but and I don't think his education goes that far. But
now I think in Spanish, Spanglish, Spanish English, I believe there's 27 letters. Yeah.
But you were talking
that
about
one
the
odd.
overtime.
Yeah.
I was in my department. I was senior, and they go offering overtime by seniority. And the boss comes up to me, calls me to his office, and says, "Need to talk to you for a minute." I said, "All right." I said, "What I do this time?" He said, "Just come in my office and ask me." He says, "I know you're going to say no, but I got to ask you, do you want to work overtime this weekend?" You know, he tells me this on a Friday evening at 3:45, and we clock out at 4. I just started laughing and turned around, walked out of his office. And you will not believe how many people dove to get to the time clock. I was the early warning system for overtime.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I come out of the boss's office laughing on Friday. They,
Yeah, really. Now, the way overtime works at our place, there's a list that's put up on the third day of the 4-day shifts for the rotating shifts.
Yeah.
And you have all of your shift that day and up until quitting time the next day to tell somebody, the supervisor usually makes out the list, that corrections need to be made, or this,
It's
that, and the
locked,
other thing.
it's locked in.
Well, yeah, and either you mandatory this guy, but I volunteered for it, so I should get it instead of him. That sort of thing. The corrections have like 24 hours basically, or it's longer than that, but about a day and a half to be made, and then once the end of shift that 4th day, when you're supposed to clock out for your 4-day break and go home, if you don't tell somebody there's a mistake made and it's not to your benefit, you're locked in. You might get mandatoried, or you might miss out on something you volunteered for but didn't get. And oh, hey, Nita. But they had a lot of time to work that out, 50 years to work that out, and it still goes screwy sometimes. So
yeah, whatever that funky looking B is,
that's that German letter that is an SZ sound. That's their word for street. It's Straße.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't
know it. I wouldn't know it to read it, but now that you pronounced it, I remember that word.
But that's that. I can't remember what that thing's called.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm typing on my phone, that pops up many times. I'm like, what the hell? Where did that one come from?
There's certain things you can do with your keyboard, like holding down Control or Alt or whatever, that'll bring up
fingering something.
Alternate letters. Yeah.
Yep. Umlaut. I thought that was the 2 dots over different letters, like over a U, or it may just be for vowels, but it was Germanic languages and stuff like from Sweden and Norway and Denmark and things like that. I thought those were the ones that basically used the umlauts, the little dots. The only reason I know what it's called is because I'm a Blue Oyster Cult fan, and they use one.
So what are the ones called to signify if it's if the vowel or whatever is supposed to be short or long?
The accent marks?
A squee or
the accent marks where you've got like an apostrophe that's backwards or an apostrophe that's forwards.
Yeah. So if you had the letter E, and you have the kind of smiley face looking one, then
that's totally different. That's totally different from what I was thinking about.
It would be a short sound, and
couldn't tell you.
Umlauts. Okay.
I thought that was
Carl says they're umlaut.
I'll sit corrected gladly.
But Carl, you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah, Carl, you know what I'm talking about. So it would, the E, whether it be a long E or a short E, and then they would have it over it. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Sequoia's Cherokee alphabet or syllabary, I believe, has 34. It's either 34 or 35 different letters, whatever in it. But a lot of theirs are doubled up.
Yeah, that's based phonetically, though, isn't it? He came up with symbols for phonemes.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, where we got off on this track is Carl, Donna, and Brian. I'm going to sort of throw Cookie under the bus and say she was there too, but I don't know. But where they got started, it was, English authors all getting together, and they had to all introduce themselves, and they said that took over 90 minutes. Then somebody says, I guess Brian took up 45, and my response is, I ain't touching that one.
We all know the answer to that, and that's where we'll leave it.
And Cookie missed all the fun. Okay.
40. Now, how many writers were introducing themselves? About 5?
Yeah. And Brian chose not to sit next to Donna. Okay.
I wonder why. Was it the sharp elbow or the sharper wit?
Well, I know why people don't sit with me, and that's why I do it. Say it, Dan. Say it, Dan.
Taco Bell got a lot to answer for.
And I was just going to say, this Dead Air segment was brought to you by Taco Bell.
Carl says 30. There was 30 or so, he thinks. Some went on and on and on.
And yet,
there's a difference.
Somebody used to talk about all the time on their program about doing the elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Hello, Michaela.
Oh, hello.
Michaela, I started Warrior Secret today. Just thought you would like to know. I like it so far. It's very early on because I didn't get a lot of time to read just while I was on break at work.
Well, I got a problem with reading, and
you have to learn.
Well, I did that. I can do that. I can see. I mean, I can read. Can't Stay Tonight, Getting Ready for Heroes, and Cod's Con, Pennyville, Mo.
In Perryville,
Missouri.
And no, my problem is I open the book, I read a page, flip it, read a page, flip it, read it.
I keep my books in the bathroom.
So that'd be too dangerous.
There's a Seinfeldism right there.
Joe, I do that with Facebook, actually. When I get home from work, I'll sit down and start going through, trying to catch up with everybody. And it's after a long, hard day at work, and I might get 15 minutes of scrolling on Facebook and, react to a couple of things. And then the next thing I know, it's 2 hours later and I'm waking up.
Do a little nice
That's a weird effect, John.
Ain't it?
You know, there are directors that pay tens of thousands of dollars for that effect.
Yeah, but they're using electronics, not computers, not practical effects.
Effects.
Roger Corman used those in all his B monster movies in the 60s and 70s.
I got to watch 20 Million Miles to Earth today.
Oh, yes.
Ray Harryhausen.
Yes, indeed. That's one of the ones
What was
from
that?
the. That was Quatermouse, Quatermouse, Danger Mouse, Quartermass,
Yeah.
or Quatermass if you're British. That was one of the 3 Quatermass movies, and the one that didn't have Quatermass in the title, and it was the giant insects in the London Underground. They dug up the space
Quartermass.
capsule.
What was that called?
That should have been.
No, 20 Million Miles to Earth.
Oh, that was the one with the Ymir.
Yeah, the little egg
okay.
that cracked and had the reptile guy, and he.
Yeah, that my mistake. I'm sorry. I totally confused.
And they shot him with tanks on the Coliseum.
Oh yeah.
Totally must see movie this Saturday night, 7 p.m. Central on MeTV is Don Knotts in The Ghost and Mr. Chicken.
Saw it when it was new.
Yeah, I see it every time it's on.
I watched a good movie that I didn't realize how good a movie it was the other day on Pluto TV. Inherit the Wind.
Oh yeah, I used to own that on VHS.
That's, it took some liberties, but a lot of it was true.
Now the character Joe Dog that Dick York played, in the movie, the high school teacher, that person in real life was from Danville, Illinois, where Carl and Donna live.
Oh.
And so Dick York wasn't, but I'm saying the person he was portraying in Inherit the Wind.
The character, not the actor. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that explains a lot about Danville. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that.
But he wasn't a high school teacher in Danville. He was just from Danville, and then he went down south to become a high school teacher. So yeah, but it's a very good movie, and everybody in it is just awesome. There's no bad acting in it.
And Harry Morgan, actually, that was one of his earlier roles too, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It would have to have been. That was an early movie.
1963.
Yeah. I've seen him in, I want to say one of the Thin Man movies, but now that I think about it, I don't think it was a Thin Man movie, but one out about the same time where he still had his hair and it was bright red. It was the weirdest thing to see Harry Morgan with red hair.
Yep.
Hair.
I can state that it was not a Thin Man movie.
No.
Because that was much earlier. All 6, 7, I forget how many there are actually, but those were 40s and 50s. And
it was about that time where I saw him. But it could have been a Frank Capra movie. I don't know. I'd have to think about that a minute. But The Ghost and Mr. Chicken has always been my absolute favorite Don Knotts movie.
Reluctant Astronaut. That was a good one too.
That was a good one in the sense that I think it was his mother that bought every single product that she saw the commercial for on TV. And when the commercial would come on, she would run into the kitchen or the bathroom or whatever and get the product and bring it out there.
To show it to the TV set. We've got it.
Yeah.
We've got it.
Show her faithfulness to it. But no, I think the most quoted line in The Ghost and Mr. Chicken, or let me just ask everybody, do you know what the most quoted line from Ghost and Mr. Chicken is?
I'm sorry to admit that I cannot remember a single line from it, although I've seen it about 5 times.
It's only basically 3 words. Attaboy, Luther.
No, John Scopes was born in 1900 in Paducah, Kentucky. The family moved to Danville, Illinois when he was a teenager. Then he
okay. So I had it backwards.
Then he moved to Salem, Illinois, and went to Salem High School. He attended University of Illinois briefly, and then finished his degree at the University of Kentucky with a major in law and a minor in geology. So he's a rock lawyer.
Well,
Anita had the answer.
And then, let me see, he moved to the Dayton area where he became the Ray County High School's football coach and occasionally served as a substitute teacher.
Yep.
And that's what got him in trouble. And you know, that happened in what, 1920s?
Scopes Monkey Trial. Is that 26 or 28, maybe? I'm guessing.
Hang on, I got a bunch of buttons.
Not sure. It's been quite a while.
Other Illinois connection.
It was decided on July 21st, 1925.
Okay.
25.
Okay.
So it probably started in 24 or even 23.
Started on July 10th.
One other Illinois connection to that movie is where they're doing the trial and they have everybody from all the radio stations and TV, well, not TV stations, but radio stations there, and they're setting up the microphones for the trial. You see one microphone that says WGN on it, which of course is big Chicago station. And then the other ones were just some other local ones and that. But
now, the law was overturned in 1968.
Right.
He was officially pardoned in 1973 or 1974.
It was Tennessee had a thing called the Butler Act, and that was what that prohibited teachers from teaching evolutionary sciences. Hello?
I'm here.
Everybody went quiet all of a sudden. I was reading Wikipedia.
I heard somebody say hello back.
Oh, wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Creepy.
The law remained on the books in Tennessee until 1967.
Oh, 67. Okay.
And they actually tried to bust another teacher for it in Jacksboro, Tennessee.
And that's what got the law overturned, right?
Yes. Citing his First Amendment right to free speech. Ooh.
Did you say Jacksboro, Tennessee?
Yes.
That's where my family's from.
That explains a lot.
That's where the family reunion that I am going to miss this weekend, unfortunately, is going to take place. Well, right next door in Caryville.
Yes, Steve, but they didn't use any actual names. They gave them all.
Yeah, they dramatized it and gave them different names.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Gave them aliases.
Yeah, the Williams Jennings Bryan character did not die in the courtroom.
No.
He died in a speech 2 weeks later outside. And they named the college in Dayton after him.
The Dick York College of Comedic Timing.
No, after William Jennings Bryan.
I like my version better.
So YouTube has, and maybe I'll just put this in the Stupid O'Clock group, they actually have rare footage of the trial. Just 2.5 minutes
footage?
of it is all. But it's, yeah.
Actual footage or just a clip from the movie?
Well, that's what I'm about to check out here. I'm going to mute myself in case the volume comes on.
So, 25? I thought TV cameras were about 10 years later than that.
They had film.
Cameras.
Oh, well, film, yeah. That would make sense, yeah.
Newsreel.
Newsreel, yeah.
As a matter of fact,
right,
I believe it was
right.
Was it Movie Tone that used to do the newsreels?
Yeah, that was one of the companies. Yeah, that was the big one, I think. Movie Tone News.
Hello, Joe Bachman. He's from the side of, I guess, Interstate 80 and 94 in Lake County, Indiana.
Well, stay on the side. Don't be walking across the road because you know how people fly through there. Even when you're in a work zone like you probably are. Because that's your job. Oh.
I'll tell you what happened. You know, I used to work in, for the street departments here in Chattanooga. This guy was standing on the side of the road, with his shovel. A car came by, hit his shovel out of his hand, flipped it up, busted the windshield. He hit it that hard. Would you believe the city paid for the guy's windshield? And the guy that got the shovel knocked out of his hand got 3 days off.
Suspension.
So the moral of this story
pay,
is,
or
if you need a weekend off, carry a shovel with you.
Yeah, suspended without pay for allowing the car to hit his shovel at 40 miles an hour in a work zone on a street with a 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. Oh, and he was part of the union at the city.
They had to replace the shovel, otherwise he wouldn't have anything to lean on. I make that joke as a union member. Please don't send us hate mail.
And Joe Bachman says he believes it. He's seen it happen when he worked for Indiana Department of Transportation. I mean, this guy was clipping cones.
Yep.
Gotta have my thing off. But anyway, I shared that to the group.
That does look like something from Movie Tone News, so yeah.
Yeah. It's only 2.5 minutes long, and actually I found the documentary that was on the History Channel, and I think I'm going to go ahead and share that to the group as well, because that's actually a pretty decent documentary.
Carl, that's what he said. He said, I should have just let him hit me. But he didn't get out of the way in time. Or he didn't get the shovel out of the way. He got him out of the way, just didn't get the shovel out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Rather than the person who hit the shovel being arrested and hauled off as a menace to society, The workman, innocently standing there in his workplace on duty, gets disciplined for allowing a civilian to speed through a work zone and accidentally impact his shovel. This makes so much sense. Not.
Carl, yeah, he did, but they said nope, you were at fault.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have been in the lane of travel.
Should have been more aware of your surroundings.
You know what he was doing at the time?
Working.
Trying to stop traffic to let the backhoe or let a truck pull out. Yeah.
Should have let the backhoe pull right in the way. Well, there ain't no justice.
Mm. And that's why I hated my job so much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were notorious for passing a new disciplinary rule and posting it at noon and writing people up for it at 4. And nobody. And remember, we're out in the field. They posted on the bulletin board,
which is not out in the field.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm familiar with the practice of posting a new safety regulation after an accident has happened, and then writing up everybody that's ever had any kind of incident relating to that new rule for years earlier than the rule being made.
See, of course, that's why I'm down on the unions. Of course, where I was at, a union was just a name. And if you didn't join the union, the shop steward would do stuff. Would snitch you out to get you written up.
When we go to Chicago, going up 57, we bypass the Illinois head of IBEW, and that building is like a skyscraper. It's huge, and it's all union.
I just noticed I got something I need to turn off in the other computer. This won't interrupt us at all, but yeah, I can safely turn it off. The program it uses is off. All right. That's a nice thing about having 2 different computers hooked up to the same network. I can bounce back and forth, and whatever the one is doing, the other won't notice.
Before we get too far away from the Scopes monkey trial, one little odd piece of information that just popped into my mind. Be more suitable for the month of October than July, but supposedly the ghost of Clarence Darrow is said to be wandering around the Science and Industry Museum. On the property, there's a lagoon, I guess is the best way to describe it, around the back of the property, and a bridge. And a person who used to have these tours all the time of around Chicago, the different areas that are supposed to be haunted, from the things that happened during the Great Chicago Fire or the St. Valentine's Day Massacre and such stuff. It would basically kind of tie into that. And supposedly one of these tour groups went out and they claimed to have seen someone in period clothing wandering around. People were yelling and hollering at this person, trying to get their attention, and by the time they ran around to the other side of the lagoon and started to come across the bridge, and then the other people were coming across the bridge from the opposite end, this person's in the middle of the bridge, and then
When
they
get there, nobody's there. Yeah.
fade into the mist, and so
And
they.
For
Now-
the scopes, for the
Why
scope,
on earth would Clarence Darrow be there? What logical reason would he have to haunt that particular
Well,
place?
they gave one, which I can't think of it right at the moment because, like I said, the weird things pop into my mind.
uh,
I'll give something else for Donna to write a comment about. But
in honor of the Scopes Monkey Trial, I posted something in Stupid O'Clock for everybody to go watch or read or whatever it's called. Look at. And there goes John. I can see him looking for it.
Nope. I know better.
Hmm.
And strangely enough, my Facebook alert popped up and told me that you posted stuff like that. I'm way
mine
ahead.
did too.
Or the creature?
Yeah, and I don't know if the submarine is still there, Carl. It seems that I've heard in recent years that they have removed that. And that was one of my favorite things to go. Actually, you got to go down into the submarine. So if you have issues with claustrophobia, you may not want to.
You know, if you think of an average hallway being about this big, submarine hallways are like this. Ain't no fat boys on a submarine.
Nope. And they ain't tall. And they ain't no tall guys on the submarine either.
There are, but you can tell they have that dent right here. Tall didn't look like it would be too much of a problem, except for getting through the hatches.
And they've got the best food in the service.
You know, with nuclear submarines, that's the only thing that limits their range.
It's food.
Is food.
Yeah, the shelf life of fresh strawberries.
No, they can only put so much food on the submarine.
Yeah.
Everything's nuclear fueled now. They make their own water. They regenerate air.
Probably make their own oxygen too.
I'm not certain. I know that the technology's there that you can
Yeah, they would have the electricity necessary to
separate hydrogen and oxygen from water.
Mhm.
And they do have they have those cookers that they bring in seawater and cook the water and distill the water out, and so their water is actually better than the stuff that's in your own tap. So.
Yeah, but distilled water is a little bit tasteless. But hey,
That's where coffee came from. That's why coffee's so popular in the Navy. Is because
it gives the water an actual flavor.
Exactly. They all ships have those things that cook the water.
Mm-hmm. I wonder what they do with the salt.
Pump it back out.
I know it gets
Flush it.
boiled out, but I mean, it's salt.
Throw it back over.
But it's all the other crap that's in there that you don't want.
That's true. There are a lot of gold and platinum and silver and all the other stuff that's dissolved in seawater.
Protein's the biggest issue from all the crap, literally crap that's in the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why you want to use seawater and not wastewater. There's a reason there is no Soylent Brown.
Yes. I was reading something, and maybe Joe knows about it. I'll go ahead and ask you. Used to, they would load all the garbage on the International Space Station into these capsules.
Yeah.
And then launch the capsule and burn
up in orbit. Yeah. Or
apparently,
in re-entry.
They've got a new airlock on the International Space Station. And the company that's doing this has a new garbage bag that holds about 600 pounds of trash, which why they use pounds when you're in zero gravity, I don't know. But
Yeah.
Anyway, they stuffed this thing full. They put it in the airlock, and apparently they can open the airlock and eject this down toward the atmosphere where it will burn up. So there's no more capsules needed. So apparently NASA finally figured out how a hefty trash bag works.
Well, Cygnus burns up on re-entry,
Right.
and progress modules burn up on re-entry, but Dragons are reused.
Mm-hmm.
And they changed the design of Cargo Dragon. Cargo Dragon was supposed to be also a Crew Dragon.
Right.
But they changed something out or what. Originally, the Cargo Dragon was supposed to have the escape rockets on it.
Oh, and now it doesn't because it's purely cargo?
Yeah. Well, it was supposed, it's purely cargo, but they realized, hey, we could take, these 1,000 pounds of engines off and haul more cargo.
Half a ton more cargo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, they were talking about, in the event of something catastrophic happening, they don't lose the cargo on launch. But Falcon has become so reliable, it's like,
This is true. But still, they've lost the emergency lifeboat capability of the cargo dragons by taking off the escape stuff.
Well, once it's on orbit, you don't need the life. You don't need that. They can.
Like when it's attached to the space station and something happens to the space station, and they gotta. They can't use the cargo dragon as an emergency.
Yeah, they could. It's just not highly recommended.
Smells like burritos in here.
And Cygnus is about to retire, and Dream Chaser is taking over for Cygnus.
That I mentioned this with Stephanie when she was on the show one night about how they approved the runway in Huntsville for landing that Dream Chaser aircraft. So it is now a spaceport. Well, it will be as soon as they land one there. But that's apparently where they're going to land the darn things is in Huntsville. I wonder if they'll land them on the old shuttle runway down at Florida.
Yes.
I'm sure they could, yeah.
But yeah, the
and at
Dream
Edwards,
Chaser
at Edwards too, probably.
And Dream Chaser will eventually replace Dragon or Starliner with the human version.
Here's an off-the-wall question: what's Scale Composites doing nowadays?
Going up and coming back down in the same hour.
Same way they've been doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Scale Composites is part of Virgin Galactic now.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I thought they were still separate entities.
Well, they are, but
guess who owns them?
Yeah, it's Rutan's still in charge, but hell, he's 90 years old.
Put him in the R&D department. He's probably still got a few good ideas left.
Yeah. Of course, when they have you've seen that thing. It looks like two C5s with a wing.
Yeah.
Together. Yeah. That was originally designed to air launch a Falcon 9, which means it could carry a Falcon 9. When that company,
means it's got a lot of lift capacity.
Yeah. When that company went bankrupt, Elon goes, "What you gonna do with that plane?"
Actually, Burt Rutan gave me permission to use, I think it was Spaceship One, when their maiden flight.
Yeah.
They gave me permission to use photographs from that for cover art for Aphelion. I got in touch with them and asked, and they said, "Hell yeah, go ahead. We love that."
All right. Dan, you've been away twice. John, you've been away.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Yeah. Well, it is my turn. I'm gone.
Well,
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah, do that voodoo that you do so well.
I thought he'd never leave.
And you folks should be lucky that I
I
said.
dare you to say that again, Dan.
I'll say it to your face. I'm
Well,
not afraid.
Good seeing you, Dan.
We were talking about submarines earlier. That's a joke.
Well, mute it, you damn fool.
We were talking about submarines earlier, and when I was stationed in Berlin, there was this running joke about the big lake that's on the west side of Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
It's called the Wannsee. And there was this joke about people seeing submarines and calling it up and reporting it on the radio. And it was kind of like a running joke. Oh, we've got a submarine sighting. And just, strangely enough, turns out there actually was a submarine that the Russians and East Germans were using to sneak spies into West Berlin and back out into East Germany. And it was this little itty bitty thing that would hold like 3 people, pilot and 2 passengers. And it wasn't very big. And they would, when they launched it from this boathouse, they had these little patrol boats like the police have. And the patrol boats used the house too. So the patrol boats would sneak out to cover the movement of the submarine so nobody could see it. Nobody could see the wake or anything as it's leaving. And there was a big thing. They finally admitted this after years and years and years. They finally admitted, yes, the East Germans did have this little spy submarine, but nobody knows what happened to it. Technically, it should, when they reunified, the new unified government should have gotten it. It ain't there. So nobody knows where it disappeared to. So I think the Russians may have loaded it up and taken it with them.
Either that or somebody's got a hell of a yacht somewhere.
Or scuttled it in the Wannsee.
Well, that's true too. It's a good thing it didn't happen in Scotland. That'd give a whole new definition to the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, what was that? What was that Sherlock Holmes movie?
There have been several. You've got to be a little bit more specific.
It's the one, I'm going to, spoiler alert, but it's a 50-year-old movie. It's the one where there's reportings of the Loch Ness Monster.
Was it a Basil Rathbone?
No. Well, I can't remember. I had to look it up. But Christopher Lee was in it. He played Mycroft Holmes. And it turns out they found these dwarves that had all been asphyxiated. Like half a dozen of them. And they had this weird chemical color, and they couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. So they call in, of course, Sherlock Holmes to investigate. And there's all these mysterious deaths and disappearances and stuff. Turns out Mycroft and the Navy Department, British Navy Department, are building a prototype submarine and are using the Loch Ness Monster myth to cover up the submarine going out and experimenting with it. And the dwarves, the reason they had the dwarves working on it was because it's a small version of the submarine. So smaller people, less weight, less oxygen, that whole thing. But they had a battery problem with it, and the battery killed the dwarves from had a gas problem with it.
Yeah.
And so and it's kind of funny at the very end, Sherlock Holmes figures out, he goes in there, the Navy Marines capture him and bring him to Fort Mycroft. And I'm trying to remember what they call them in England. The people that take care of the Queen.
The Coldstream Guards?
I'm not sure, but they're the protocol guy, and like the Queen will be here at 3:00. Make sure everything's ready to go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Those kind of guys. He shows up, and these ministers show up, and Queen Victoria shows up. and they're showing her this new weapon system, the submarine, and they're explaining how it works, and it can go underwater and come back up, runs on batteries, has torpedoes, and all those sort of things like this. And the Queen is disgusted with it because she says the British Navy does not conduct sneaky, underhanded attacks on our enemies. And just totally shot down the submarine idea. And Mycroft's sitting there
not
like,
cricket.
And Mycroft's sitting there like, but the Germans have them. It's like,
yeah, that's because they're German. They're sneaky, underhanded buggers.
I need to find out. I figured you'd know, being the Sherlock Holmes type person you are.
That is not a movie that I am familiar with whatsoever. It is not a Basil Rathbone, Nigel Bruce Sherlock Holmes that I remember.
It was in the 60s.
I was thinking it might be Secret Weapon, but no, that's an entirely different plot. So, unless I just totally misremember Secret Weapon.
Well, I think I found the submarine that John was talking about earlier that only fit a couple people, and I think you probably all remember it quite well from your comic book advertisements. And I think, wasn't this actually a cardboard submarine or something, if you actually bought this thing?
I think that's all it was. It was a cardboard play for it.
Yep.
Yeah. Big enough for 2 kids, over 7 foot long, for only $6.98. And seats 2 kids, controls at work, rockets that fire, real periscope, firing torpedoes, electrically lit instrument panel. Wow, all that for $6.98, boys and girls.
And I built myself a Play Gemini capsule big enough for a high school freshman and his little brother, absolutely free out of scrap lumber.
We did that out of a refrigerator box.
Now, y'all were talking about submarines. Now, the submarine was invented by the Confederate States of America.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
No.
The
Hunley was invented by the Confederate States, but it was not the first submarine.
The turtle was during the Revolutionary
War. It was the one that looked like a whiskey barrel. Yeah.
Yep, pretty much, or a very large hand grenade.
How successful was it in battle, though? Because
not too good.
Yeah.
Sort of like everything else up until the modern day.
It actually conducted a successful attack on a British warship, but it had this drill, and it would sneak up, come underneath the ship. They would drill a hole into the ship, and that's how it attached the bomb, was with this drill bit, a detachable drill bit. So they drilled the hole, they detached from it, pulled away. When they pulled away, that's what armed the bomb. And of course, the bomb stuck to the hull of the ship. It's a pretty big gun barrel type thing.
I saw Bugs Bunny do that to Yosemite Sam one time.
So they managed to get away, but the drill bit had broken, and the bomb drifted away with them.
Oh.
And it blew up next to the ship, scared the hell out of the British sailors. They're like, well, it's right there next to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
And the turtle got away. So I'm not sure. I can't remember if they made it or not. But
there was a Bruce Campbell short-lived TV series that used that as a plot for one of the episodes.
Speaking of Bruce,
I think it only had like four episodes, maybe 5, but
the movie is called The Private Life of Sherlock Holmes.
Carl got it.
And Robert Stevens played Sherlock Holmes. Colin Blakely, who's kind of famous, played Dr. Watson. So who played?
Thank you, Carl. Yes, that was the name of the show. I couldn't remember it. Jack
Carl,
of all trades.
Yeah, Carl brought up something. Jack of all trades. But do you know there's more to that saying?
Oh yeah.
Jack of
Joe.
all trades, master of none.
Right.
But often better than the master of one.
What musical was that from?
I don't know. I learned it from Adam Savage and Mythbusters.
I learned it from Seinfeld. George kept singing it under his voice the whole time, and whoever he was standing around, it put an earworm into their head, and then they started singing it. It was the episode where they went to meet Elaine's father, who was
Sounds like Rogers and Hammerstein.
gruff. I think, yeah. Okay, Carl of all trades.
Let me see.
What musical was that from?
Not knowing musicals, I have no guess. Ow, that hurt. Pop, pop, pop. Different vertebrae in my neck.
Well, the reason why I asked about the turtle submarine was we all know the story of the Monitor and the Merrimack from the Civil War and what transpired there. But I've heard of the one from the Revolutionary War, but I never really knew if it got past the planning stage or what really happened with it.
Let me see. I'll read it to you.
Got used.
Okay, it was designed by American David Bushnell as a means of attaching explosive charges to ships in a harbor. And let me see. Several attempts were made using Turtle to affix explosives to the underside of British warships in New York Harbor in 1776. All failed, and her transport ship was later sunk that year by the British with the submarine aboard. Okay.
Yep, that's what happened to it.
Okay.
Yeah, as I recall, the first failures were because they didn't take into account the metal cladding on the bottom of the warships, and the drill wouldn't go through the metal. They were expecting it just to be wood, and it was
copper. It was copper sheeting,
copper plate. Yeah, to cut down on the not woodworm.
Yeah,
barnacles.
Barnacles. Yeah.
Sea life, really.
Barnacle build a sailor. Stephanie, how you doing?
Hey, Stephanie.
Hope you're feeling better and a little more energetic. Yes, it has been a day for all of us.
Yes.
There you go. That's what it looked like. You notice how oval the propeller on the top and the front look? Because they were an actual screw rather than a propeller.
Yeah, it took. You know how the propeller came about for ships? They actually broke one of those.
When it worked better, cut
and
in
it
half.
worked better.
Yep. Now let me see.
Yet they still call them screws.
Okay, yeah, I see where the bomb screw was, and
hang on a second, and I'll get y'all a better picture here.
Hey, I can make sense out of that one. I just got to lean up in the camera and look all ugly for the people.
Well,
this is not the green room. Shut up, Joe.
I know, that's why I'm just sitting. I'm not saying. Oh.
Nobody would ever notice. I look.
Joe, you mentioned Bruce Campbell, which reminds me, he had a cameo in the Doctor Strange movie.
Yes, he did.
And he had a cameo in credit.
Yes, he did. A little bit of a step down from introducing Spider Guy.
Oh, it did have a regular propeller.
Carl holds up this. This is not the green room sign.
Mm-hmm.
There's the pumps for pumping the water out.
Yeah. And you notice the snorkels up on the top. I mean, they're snorkel shaped. You know what they are.
Yeah.
And worked on the same principle. So actually, that means snorkels were much older than the American Revolution. Jacques Cousteau did not invent everything.
Now is that a three? Yeah, that's a 3D drawing. That's not something.
Oh
Somebody,
yeah, yes, 3D graphics.
Yeah.
But I love how they credited it to David Bushnell, 1776, like he had a computer or something.
Okay. His family's probably still owns his copyrights. Oh. Yeah, yep. Jacques Cousteau did invent the aqualung. But Jethro Tull improved it.
John, how far are you from Holcomb Road?
Holcomb Road?
Yeah.
Well, there's one about 20 miles
I'm not
from
sure.
me.
Okay, it's just something that Channel 3 has posted up of an incident.
Okay,
What they do this time?
Stephanie, the barrel on the side of the thing was the mine it was supposed to attach to the British ship.
Holcomb Road? Why does it get Holcomb Road? Ringgold, Georgia.
Yeah. I'm not going to say what it is. There's just an incident on Holcomb Road.
I heard that. I heard all the sirens earlier today.
Yeah.
I'm not too far away from it, but
Okay.
let's put it this way: if they start shooting, I'll hear it.
All right.
Well, it depends on which part of Holcomb Road.
It just says Holcomb Road.
Well, that's like saying, Hickson Pike.
Peachtree Street.
Actually, do you know where that gas station is up? Oh, you don't know where my house is, do you, Jeff?
Hadn't been there yet. You won't invite me over. You're afraid I'm a vampire.
No, I've got dogs that have eaten the house.
Like I don't.
Well, I could see it from here if trees weren't in the way.
All right.
Wow. We've had a multitude of viewers all night so far.
Did you hear that Ivana Trump...
I'm reading all the...
Yes, my wife told me that when I came in. Go ahead and finish, John.
Ivana Trump, former President Donald Trump's ex-wife, died. She was 73.
Yeah.
Well,
And Don,
there's
Don,
no word
God
no
rest
word
her
yet
soul.
as to the cause, or as if it were something more than old age.
all right, hey, everybody, we got to behave. Stephanie's here.
Who's going to make Stephanie behave?
Kind of moved Steph's in. Well, yeah, he's right here. So
yep, that's his
sitting here
job.
looking at me. Thought I'd just stop in for a few minutes, guys. I don't expect to stay long, but thought I'd come in and say hi.
Hi.
Oh, you missed the beginning of the show.
Or what did I miss?
He blew up a spaceship. What? Play it again, Sam.
Explosions.
Yeah, I'll play it again. This is what happened.
Did we have a Rudd?
No, not necessarily.
We didn't have a Rudd.
It was more of a burp.
No, it was actually more a half hiccup.
You know how sometimes a car will backfire? Kind of like that, only with 33 of the largest engines ever produced on a spacecraft.
Want to see, want to see, want to see.
No,
right.
it is.
Headphone alert, because it is loud.
Okay.
All right.
Was that a test?
Yes.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't a test.
It wasn't intended. It was
It was
during
a test
a
that
test.
wasn't supposed to do that.
It was a pre-burner spin. They call it a spin test, where they spin the turbo pumps but don't do anything, don't ignite anything or anything. But
Ooh, it wasn't supposed to ignite?
no,
Oh, shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I imagine there were several of those going on in the control room.
I was watching the multicam when a replay of the multicam.
Mm-hmm.
You could see people running out of the factory, running around to look, and then there were two trucks coming out of the parking lot sideways, headed in that direction.
Elon steps out on the balcony and says, "Bring me my brown trousers."
No, Elon was in Austin.
If it wasn't supposed to ignite, there weren't people in the area, surely.
No, there wasn't anybody in the area. They didn't send out any overpressure notices, anything,
Because it wasn't supposed to ignite.
Yeah. What it is they ran, the methane and all that, doing the spin up of the turbo pumps.
Yeah.
But it was just a quick. As soon as they got up to RPM, they shut it off, which is pretty much almost instantly. But you realize there's 33 of these beasts belching methane,
and something sparked somewhere.
Yeah. Elon says we're not going to spin up the 33 engines at one time again unless it's for launch.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I mean, I don't know if you could see the shock wave.
I wasn't looking. I was just kind of like, okay. Well, play it again, Sam.
All right. All right. I got microphones on, so you can. This is where you'll see the shockwave.
Cool.
They need to have like little flags all around the place. If he's gonna have that many explosions, I would love to see like just banners hanging all over the place. Every time there's an explosion, you see all the banners go.
Now,
no, John, you're missing a trick. Then you need the giant inflatable floppy guys from the car lots.
Now,
you know how he vents all that stuff? They have to basically get all the gas out of the rocket.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need at the end of the gas nozzles when they're like getting all the oxygen and methane out of the rocket. Is have the little wavy arm man, inflatable wavy arm man.
I'm just suddenly thinking of a Robin Williams
with
routine.
Inflatable arm mans with whoopee cushions. So every time they turn the rocket off, start venting the fuel, you're.
Yeah, definitely thinking of a Robin Williams routine.
And it's methane, so it's going to smell appropriate.
No, they don't. They don't vent the methane. They
recycle it.
They actually suck it out, recycle, and recondense it.
When it works.
The only thing they vent is nitrogen and oxygen. Well, what happened? Now, here's the fun part, Stephanie. They went ahead and got to looking. Of course, there were some fires.
I would expect, yes.
Kind of
They
hard to
did
prevent.
decided to do an O2 dump.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Does this strike you as a bright idea? You just had a fire. You're going to dump oxygen. Okay.
Yeah, they
And
found one of their little SPMTs, the transporter with all the multi wheels that they use.
mm-hmm.
They got to buy a new one.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
Singed a bit.
I would say more like charred.
Yeah,
I don't use it myself. It promotes rust.
All right, Bill's back.
Somebody duct tape Bill to the channel.
Oh, but yeah,
Is he having
Hiccups.
internet hiccups?
yeah.
Hey, it could be worse. It could have been like SpaceX had. That was a hell of a hiccup.
Yeah, it was one of those that. Okay, it was more like it was one of those. Oh, okay. We don't do that one again.
Yes,
Yeah.
let's not do that again real quick.
I mean, if you saw, what I was going to say about the explosion, there's a truck there for one of the streamers called Lab Padre. Would you believe it didn't even crack the windows?
Good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since he's signed a waiver with SpaceX. If there's any explosions or anything and his truck's damaged, it's his problem.
Yeah.
Oh.
Insurance won't even cover it.
Well, no. I was impressed with how quickly. I mean, they pretty much shut it down.
Yeah.
Well, they were in the midst of shutting it down when it went off.
Yeah.
Is what I thought. They'd already commenced the shutdown and it went boom.
Yeah, they hit stop and it went boom. It's like, no.
But Joe Dog,
there was some guy named Carl stepped outside to light a cigarette.
A cigar.
Here's what I think happened. The guy
do that again.
up the start and stop button.
Okay.
Joe Dog, there was one part of all those booms and the sound effects that you had that evidently got lost in the mix. But I do have it here that it, and you heard this right after the booms.
There should have been an earth-shattering kaboom.
Now that was goofy. You got you're mixing up Disney and Warner Brothers.
But
That's
yeah,
all right.
but yeah, the two trucks. I mean, these guys. I mean, I saw one of them when he grabbed the door handle of his truck. By the time that he, grabbed the door handle and got it open, he was already up to the front of the truck and had to run back to get in.
God, Keystone Cops all over again.
Oh, it was. I mean, there was two of them tearing out of the parking lot. Like, I think where they went was over into Boca Chica Village. The neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
That's right behind the.
It's okay, guys. It's all right. This.
It's all under control. There'll be marshmallows and the hot dogs later on.
They probably had the checkbooks with them.
Yeah.
Well,
They got a couple.
I don't know.
They got a couple of dump trucks just show up and start dumping cash into the people's front yard.
I don't know if it was enough to break windows.
It.
Not as far away as the community should have been.
No, it's
Not the
over a
green
mile and
room.
a half
Not the
down
green
road.
room.
No, yeah, it's almost 2 miles down the road.
Yeah.
But what was impressive is the big crane sitting there. It didn't even bust the windows on the big crane.
And you didn't see the cables or any, you know how they've got the suspension cables and the hook hanging down? None of that moved. The rocket, if you look real close, just barely wobbles up near the top, but that's it.
Oh, they pulled it out of the thing to transport back to the plant it's easier to check it at the plant. They pulled it up, man. You could see duct tape holding engine bells together.
Oops.
Yeah.
The engine shrouds.
Yeah.
There were several of the engine shrouds missing, and then some of the engine along the bottom, you could see that the shroud was missing, but the little bottom piece was twisted up. So it had some
It had
punch.
some force to it, yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Well, as big around as it is, it wouldn't take a whole heck of a lot of force to, bump the bottom of it.
Yeah, but the thing is, if that was just a pre-ignition, can you imagine what it's going to be like when they light all 33 and make it go up?
I can't wait. I'm hoping it don't go kaboom, but I want it to go boom, all the way up.
You blew John up.
I'm trying to figure out
people.
what they did or didn't do that it should do that.
Joe said there might have been a methane leak from some piece of piping.
Yeah, something. Well, they spun up the turbines with methane.
Yeah, but they really shouldn't have had the methane venting in any way, shape, or form if they didn't want to risk ignition.
Yeah.
Mm. So
But
it was coming out from somewhere it shouldn't have been coming out of.
It was coming out from multiple somewheres it shouldn't have been coming out of.
And then it hit that magical ratio, and
something ignited it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the other question: is what ignited it?
Sarah asked, "How far away would that be heard?" That's a good question.
10 miles away, people were going,
"What was that?"
Tim Dodd, the everyday astronaut, said he was in his apartment there on like the 20th story of one of those high rises down there that overlooks. He said, I'm sitting there going, and all of a sudden everything went boom, and I went, what the? Oh, hell! And he said, I ran out to the balcony and could see smoke, and it's like, oh, God, they blew it up.
Well, they gave it the good old college try, but yeah.
They didn't quite make it to Rudd level.
No.
And
severely dented.
Yes. And Chris, I don't think so.
Hey, Chris, if I can ever pull that one off, I am going to be a hero.
Not to the fire department.
Oh.
Damn.
Of course, Mythbusters actually proves that that the human body couldn't expel that much methane to cause that much problem.
Yeah, but they never met you.
It's not the green room, Steph. It's not the green room.
I didn't say anything. Didn't say a word. Made a sound. Didn't say a word.
Steph,
yeah,
I have been polite and never did that around you.
This is
on
true.
purpose.
Now, I have snuck over by Dan and slipped a few.
Thankfully, I have no sense of smell, which disappointed Joe Dog to no end. My eyes watered, but I didn't have any sense of smell.
I remember.
But Dan, when you were gasping for air, didn't that not clue you in on something, even if you didn't smell it?
Oh, the only clue I needed was the evil grin on Joe Dog's face.
Of course, I do remember Chris one day going, "Oh my God, I can taste it."
I remember him telling that story. Oh, oh dear.
That was after a Chattacon at the Chattacon at the Reed House.
He shouldn't have his tongue hanging out when he saw the fumes.
The Reed House is a really nice hotel, but it is not handicap friendly.
No,
And it's tiny,
Well,
from
it
my
is.
understanding. I've never been there, but I've heard people complain it doesn't. It's got narrow hallways and it's all stairs, and it's not built for more
It's an
than
his-
about 300 to 400 people as guests.
It's an historic hotel. I mean,
Yeah.
So
I mean it was built in the 1800s. What do you expect?
yeah, I mean we used to have back. The guy who used to host it has died since, but there used to be a Sherlock Holmes gathering there every year, which was kind of neat because historic hotel, Victorian era, it worked. Yes, for me especially, handicap accessibility important. The first few times I stayed there, it wasn't so important because I was still getting around reasonably well. But
Mm.
now that I gimp, it's
Yeah,
And
it's
extremely important.
Actually, that's a consideration with me on
yes.
on HallowCon. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, they treat us like gold down there, but you know,
It's
It's still a 1950s hotel that's been renovated
yeah.
several times.
actually
It
it's
needs
1960s, late 60s. But
Yeah, I was going on the architectural design, not the actual construction. But, there's a lot of 60s era hotels that were designed much earlier. That the chain had good working blueprints and kept right on using them.
yeah.
the
There are a lot of avocado green refrigerators in that hotel.
not
No,
anymore.
it's more in the staircases and the sidewalks and
Mhm.
the lack of internal hallways. You have to go outside the building to go around rather than
Mhm.
exit the room
And
into a hallway inside the building. But
and no
there's
elevators.
And
Yep.
no elevators. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually I've sat there time and time again looking where would we put an elevator? Where would we put an elevator?
Chris, the one that HallowCon is in.
Yeah,
Dalton. Yep.
Yeah.
I remember going into a hotel once before that made me think that I was stepping back into time. And the thing that I remember the most about it was as soon as we walked in the doors, walking down the hallway to sign in on the registry, the carpeting on the floor made you think of the backdrop from the Laugh-In TV show. It was really psychedelic, and I'm thinking, man, somebody really drunk or hungover or whatever would have a hard time walking across this thing.
Paisley. Somebody got a lot to answer for. Ooh, dear. Excuse me.
Oh, now I have seen a hotel that the carpet, honestly, did this down the hallways. Had lines and all that, and it's like, and I admit there have been times that I've hit that hallway and gone, nope.
Did you feel like Alice in Wonderland walking down the hallway, seeing the little small door that got bigger and bigger when you got to it, and then
No. No, the hallway was that long. Had two twin girls popped out at the end of the hallway, I'd have left.
oh,
No, but the carpet looked like it was doing this. as you.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So,
that's to prevent people from running in the hall.
yeah, well, it did a good job.
And it's to really mess with anybody that's had a little bit too much to drink.
Yeah,
Sadistically
but
so.
that's kind of a good way to have to clean that carpet.
Yeah.
Hey, that may be why it's not more popular.
Of course, here a couple of years ago, it was up for sale for like $5 million, and I considered buying a hotel and moving to HallowCon, but I don't think people would want to go to the Clown Hotel outside Las Vegas.
No, that's a little bit too far to drive. And the Clown College Hotel, no, I don't think so.
Every room is clown themed. That just no.
What was that song again?
Send in the clowns.
No, clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right.
Oh yeah, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steeler's Wheel.
And Chris goes, Crystal June would hurt you. Yep.
Way to go,
So-
John.
Got a break in here just a second. I seen a thing from Facebook. One of our local meteorologists from Champaign Station is doing a live report now because apparently the space station is flying over central Illinois as we speak.
With the doors locked.
Let's hope.
I would hope so.
And a
Say-
drag case.
You know that bag of trash
Where-
I told you they were going to drop off?
Yeah. Where are we at? Central Illinois. Roll them up.
Dump it.
Oh Lord. Oh dear.
And yes, Sarah, no kidding. It's Kevin Leidy from WCIA, which I don't really watch that station anymore, but for some reason it popped up in my news feed.
I can't drink anymore, so all I can do is reminisce.
I never have been one for drinking that much. I like my
Liver.
sensory organs too much. My sensory input is required to get me places without getting hurt. So, good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
You have a good one. And see some of us tomorrow night in the green room if you're a member of Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group. And the trick about the Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group is you can't get offended.
It's one of the rules.
One of the rules.
That's
If
right.
if you get offended and report them, you broke the rules. You're out.
But if you get offensive, they like you.
Welcome to the green room.
And Carl does not
Yeah.
allow
Yeah.
any offensive line from any football team in the green room either. So,
Well, that's out all those folks from Oakland.
Oh, talking about offensive line, that reminds me. Do you know baseball is the only ball sport that the offense does not have control of the ball?
Point.
What about billiards?
how's that, Joe Dog?
Because the defense has control of the field. The pitcher is on the defensive team,
Yeah.
trying to prevent the offensive batter from making a score.
Think of it like hand grenades. Once you pull the pin and let the spoon loose, you don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
So you throw it at the other guy. He sees it coming. He tries to hit it with a bat and knock it back at you.
Once you pull the pin, Mr. Grenade is no longer your friend.
But what about horseshoes?
A miss is as good as a mile.
Oh, but the closer you get to it, the better.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and
And nuclear
far
weapons.
counts in H bombs.
close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, and nuclear weapons.
No. Far counts in nuclear weapons.
Yeah, as if you want to be very far away. I wonder about cricket. Does that rule apply there?
I've been hearing a lot of them lately.
What happened? Stephanie,
No. I would ask Lindsay, but soccer, English football is her sport. She does not understand cricket at all.
Nobody understands cricket.
The people that play it do, but
No, they don't.
I have a halfway understanding of
They're
cricket.
British. They fake it.
I have absolutely. I mean, it could be Fizbin for all I know.
This is
I
no
gotta
lie.
see
Cricket.
this channel. That's just disgusting.
Cricket is so
Good night,
strange.
Donna.
When I was a kid watching Monty Python's Flying Circus on our local PBS station, they would do some sketches involving cricket, and I actually thought that they just made the game up for the sketch. It was so strange looking anyway. I thought it had to be made up by Monty Python.
No, Joe. What I was making the face at was, I had been watching before I got on here. I had been watching a program about sharks on the Nat Geo channel. And they started showing a video of a dead whale being washed up on a beach with its guts half ripped out by sharks, with the sharks trying to come out of the water to get to what was left. That was the most disgusting thing I think I've ever seen.
Well, what about the one to where this town in Oregon found the whale on the beach?
Yeah, that was kind of bad, but I mean,
I remember that. Yes,
it's kind of like boom, and there's no more whale. This one was kind of like the whale carcass was rolling over, and the guts were spilling out, and
yeah, but that one, they went boom, whale was gone. Whale blubber was all over town.
There's one
rotten
guy.
Whale blubber.
He had just bought a brand new car, and when he heard they were going to blow this whale up, he drove out there to see it. And when they blew it up, a big 400-pound chunk of whale meat landed right on his brand new car. Hadn't even had it off the lot a week yet. And he calls his insurance company.
That must have been an interesting phone call.
What did what to your car?
These damn fools at city council blew up a whale and chunks hit my car. Take it up to the city.
Really,
I was driving one day and a whale hit my car.
That's an act of COD. Nope, not covered.
Strangely enough, hey Joe, they got the video for it on YouTube.
No. Yeah, I had to take Dan off the air. Dan had to spend 10 seconds in the penalty box for that one.
What?
You didn't hear what he said?
No, I was looking at whale blubber.
Say it again, Dan.
No. John will just have to watch the replay. It's better the first time.
I knew I should have had my closed caption on.
I'm not sure the closed caption would have caught it.
With my
it was
accent,
subtle. Huh?
With my accent,
It
maybe.
was subtle.
That was on the 12th of November, 1970, where the dead whale was blown up with dynamite by the Oregon State Highway Division. Joe's friends. Which I am now sharing to Stupid O'Clock for those of you who are interested in what the heck we were talking about.
Oh. Well, we've almost gone through the whole show.
That's true.
It's definitely laughed a lot of times, which makes me happy.
Well, I figured, I thought maybe it might actually cheer me up, and it has. So thanks, guys. So
And this cheers you up every time.
I'm sorry. I've known some horses that would do that.
Rubber chicken, you're my friend.
Oh, did you see that video to where that I sent you where Adam Savage made the rubber chicken bomb?
Yes, yes, yes.
Could you
That
imagine?
sounded, that sounded kind of unearthly, actually.
Now, could you imagine doing that in the rotunda of the convention center at LibertyCon?
Is that the one with like he had what 90 or some god awful
Yeah.
amount or
Yeah.
Stupid, ridiculous amount, and he squished them all at once in one big thing, and then
had a
released
quick
it.
had a quick release pin to pop. Yeah,
And it sounded like it should have been background music for Forbidden Planet. Was what it sounded like.
and what was so funny is it would it would as they released more in the middle could start gasping for air.
It actually, from the way Joe Dog is stating it, it actually sounds like it could be a legitimate soundtrack for a Jerry Lewis movie.
We're just a plethora of information tonight.
It was a little more uncanny than that, in my opinion. So, I mean, you expect it to be funny, and it was really kind of creepy.
And Adam Savage just all over.
Yeah, he's just cackling. And I can't say as I blame him.
Yeah.
Well, boys and girls, if you enjoyed everything that you heard on the show tonight, don't miss out Saturday night, starting at 10 o'clock Central, when you might hear Joe Dog say this, or that, or the other thing. Hang on. It's not doing it. Oh my God, I just ruined my whole bit. Okay. Take two. If you enjoyed tonight's show, boys and girls, don't forget to tune in to Saturday night's show at 10 p.m. Central when you'll hear Joe Dog say this. Okay, there we go. All right. It's ruined when you got to explain the joke, but anyway.
See, that's why we record these things and put them in the computer so that the phone doesn't have to be depended on.
I'm not that smart, okay?
Sure you are. You just don't give yourself enough credit.
And now with the background music, we can do stuff. I can do sound effects.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh God.
We could be like those on-air personalities that annoy people in the mornings that with their syndicated shows on the radio.
And we just annoy people at night.
Speaking of credit.
Hello, Mike Jimmy.
There he is. A credit to the other side of the world.
John, hit it and I'll be right back.
I was in the middle of posting something to Facebook or Stupid Thought.
All right, well, I'll be right back.
All right, I'll hang on a minute. All right, button. Where's the button?
Oh, heavens.
Oh,
This has been a lot of fun. After a stressful most of a week at work, still got tomorrow to go through. Lots and lots and lots to do. Then Saturday, and then...
Yes, Mike Jimmy, you are the living proof that the other side still exists.
Across
other side of the pond, yeah.
Well, I say the same thing about Brian Morris. I always referred to him as being on the wrong side of the Wabash River. I'd tell him, yeah, I was over on your side of the Wabash River today, Brian. And he says, who gave you permission to come over here? I snuck over on a raft with 2 little kids that brought me over.
I'm going to tell Stephanie this. We talked about it earlier, but Stephanie wasn't here when we talked about it. They put this new docking module on the International Space Station. It's got like 6 places you can dock stuff to. Well, the company that built this thing also has this system for getting rid of garbage on the space station. Instead of putting it into a capsule and dropping the capsule into the atmosphere, they now have a really big trash bag. They said, and I hate this, they said it holds about 600 pounds of trash, which means absolutely nothing in low gravity. You know, that's,
well, they still got a good.
They couldn't say cubic feet or meters or something like that. But anyway, so they got this big trash bag. They put all the trash in it, put it in the airlock, and they've got some way of ejecting it down toward the planet, and it burns up in the atmosphere. No wasted capsules or anything like that. Just apparently NASA reinvented the hefty bag. So that's
hefty.
Well, I've got
NASA.
Which is why when they were talking earlier about the space station flying over central Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Okay, drop the trash bag now.
I've got 2 very unhappy cats in my house now.
Oh.
Okay.
You know that lid that goes on the box of a ream of paper?
Yeah.
I had to take it away from the cats. They were driving Donna crazy.
Pushing it around the house?
No, running, jumping in it, and sliding across the floor.
Jamaican bobsled cats.
I could see Carl's cats doing that down the stairs.
No, with the
I
stairs.
had a cat that would do that with the laundry basket. If you left the laundry basket at the top of the stairs, with laundry in it. Which is really
Padding,
It would probably be clean until they jumped into it.
Well, everybody, we're about 3 minutes from Dan's show.
Yeah, it's about that time.
Want to thank all y'all for coming in. Thank you, Stephanie, for coming in at the very end. I'm glad I could come up with something that could make you laugh. Of course, this may not make you laugh, but it makes me laugh every time I see it.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Honey Badger doesn't give a shit.
Just about anything that woman does will make me laugh.
All right. So with that, at least I gave you a good chuckle as we leave. So
wait. Let's do this before we go out.
Yes. Yeah, we'll just do one of them.
Go out with a bang.
Oh, going out with a bang. I knew that was coming. Yes.
I didn't have my goofy sound effect ready, John. Doggone it.
All right. With that, we're going to head on and thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you Saturday night. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, con Dios, amigos.
Slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God.